Hey folks, Jonathan here. Alright, so tractor treasure number 2. We got this log splitter, and we haven't got a chance to get back on the winch box yet because I ordered a new set of torches. I'm having some issues with my torches, and the diaphragm's leaking bad on it, and I just tired of messing with it. So waiting on the torches, and we're going to cut some on this, and we got to cut some on the winch to get everything, get all that in. So figured I'd go ahead and get started on this first. Okay, so this is a $40 log splitter I bought. No engine, a little pump on it. Lines are in rough shape, rusted. It's been rained in. My only worry was this cylinder, and I've already put some lines. Picked up another set of lines and put on here. So another $40 worth of fittings and lines. So we're in it for about 80 bucks with the lines. And I didn't already have these lines like I did for the post hole digger, so I had to go buy them. And so anyway, we're hooked up. I'm going to pull the skid steer up here and hook it up, and we'll cycle it a couple times. And then we're going to throw a rim in it and a tire, and we're going to see what it'll do. All right. Okay folks, this is a 4.5-inch cylinder, which is a pretty good sized cylinder, and I've just got it temporarily pinned, and we just stuck a rim in there, and we're going to see what it'll do. I'm going to stay here behind the cage, and I'll let you stay out there and watch. So if you get hit by anything, it's your own fault. Alright, so we got the power here, we just don't have the control. What I'm trying to say is this thing's splitting this like it's trying to split a piece of wood, and that's not what we want. So the plan is we're going to leave this the same. Now the last one that I actually built was a rim crusher. This was on the other end, and this was the stationary part. This is already built this way, so we're going to leave it. The plan is to come, since we got 2 holes here, they're not all the way through, but they'll use these alignment holes, and we got 1 hole here all the way through. That's a bolt hole. I think I can make a piece that has 2 uprights that'll come in, and what we're trying to do is fold the rim. We want to push the rim in the center and fold the outsides of the rim around, and that'll give us a one-shot process of bending the rim instead of crushing it like this, you know, because we're pushing here and we're pushing here. What we need to be doing is pushing here and then here and here, and this will bring it in and fold it around. So that's the plan. We'll do that and then build it to bolt on, and then if we need to take it off or anything, we can take it off. If, you know, I'm not saying we will or won't, depending on what we're doing with it. We'll probably do, you know, split some wood with it too, but if I do it this way, this will keep it as a decent wood splitter. So, you know, we're not really in, you know, we're 80 bucks in, let's just say, so far, so we're doing just fine. So I think I'm going to cut all of this stuff off, and I don't need it anymore, don't need it at all. And I think I'm going to reinforce this by another I-beam under it, but we'll have to come down back so we don't mess with our travel, and then weld up to it. That'll help strengthen it, but I'm also going to make it where it pins on and off my machine, where I can just pull up to it, drop the double pins in it, pick it up, move it anywhere I want to move it. I was even debating to build this with it upside down. If I was just going to do wood, I'd probably do that. But I'm not. I'm going to be doing rims, so it's going to be a little different situation. It'll just have to be either a two-man job or one person will have to get in the machine, and which is where this is at. If I leave it out this end, it's safer that way. You don't want to be anywhere around when you're bending that rim, especially I've seen people put aluminum rims in and explode them, but you never know what's going to fly. It's a lot of pressure, and there's no use taking a chance. Now the last one I built was a lot bigger than this, a lot bigger cylinder. It would do a 20-inch truck rim, and it actually had a cage you'd stand behind and when you operated it. But we're going to make this small and simple. So, and we don't plan on spending much money, and hopefully when we're done we can paint it and make it look half decent. This is really not a series for just attachments for my skid steer. This is just how it's working out. So I've got other stuff to make that don't have anything to do with the skid steer, but the skid steer makes a good hydraulic power unit, and as you can see, it's not a slouch and it's not that slow. That just shows you how slow that winch is on my auger. But again, 2 minutes 20 seconds to dig a 5-foot hole, 15-inch diameter. I'll take that any day of the week. All right. Okay, folks, all the hydraulics is off. The tank, the pump, the controls. Don't know that there's anything good because it all got rained in. Here is our bottom section and the axle that was on it. Thought this was kind of neat. You know, this looks like a golf cart we're in. You know, it had place for an electric motor on it and all that. But, and I was wondering, you know, whether it was, you know, Malex or Pargo or EasyGo or even the old Harleys. I think a lot of them had the motor straight forward, but this was a 3-lug, which is kind of an oddball because most of them are 4. They're little lugs. So it's hard to say which one it is, but what got me about it was that Termico, Charlotte, North Carolina. Never knew they made anything like that. So I'll have to do some research on that. All right, well here we go. We got it up here close enough to do some welding on it. You can see now you can probably see our bend a whole lot better. But it's not enough that it's going to bother me any. I mean, it'll still operate and do it just fine. Just won't look as good. So the plan is, this is the bar that I used. Some of you may remember when I straightened the frame on the 39 Chevrolet. I've used this for a lot of things over the years, but now we need it for something permanent. So what we're going to do is this is going to mount and weld to the bottom, and we're going to keep this back far enough so the stroke don't hit it. We'll leave it open through here, and then when we come to the end here, we'll connect this piece in. We'll probably just cut the end off and move it over to the top, and then connect it below it to where, you know, as long as we're not in the way of the stroke of the, and this will help support this thing, and it won't ever bend any more than what it's already bent. So no problem, that'll work. And then once this is done, we're going to try to do something to make it sort of sit down you know, flat, and then we're going to make it pin to the skid steer, and I'm going to do some changing on a few things and just cleaning up and stuff like that. And then we're going to make our 2 bars that I was talking about before that go on each side of that to make the rim actually wrap around this. The thing about a rim and a tire, I can get rid of my tires, but I have to pay per pound. If I leave the rims in them, I still have to pay per pound. And the rims are heavy, especially if they got, you know, get water in the tires and stuff. So if you break them down, at least you can sell the rims for scrap, and then you can get rid of the tires, and it's still cheaper to get rid of the tires. So you're saving money, but you're also making money. So that's the deal with that. And then also, you know, we get our boilers done, we're going to need something to split some wood with anyway. So it's nice to have a wood splitter around, so we'll use it for both. But for now, we're going to get it together to use as a rim crusher. And shouldn't take too long. We'll get this knocked out and we'll move on to the next thing. But okay, folks, we've got this set up on there. And I went ahead and cut and got this up and on. All right, folks, welded on, turned over. Here's what she looks like. All right, so we got more to do. We got some straightening out to do on our I-beam and a little welding there, and we got to figure out how we're going to mount this thing on the skid steer. But we'll get it. All right. Okay, so we got it flipped back over. Got the bottom on, the piece on. We got a little more welding to do, not much. And now where we're at is this is what we're going to add in. I was going to make them pin on. I think I'm just going to weld them in. We can still split wood with it. There's a chance that we'd get something stuck between it, so we can make a plate that'll just go on it later. And wood's not nearly as hard to split as what this is, so we'll deal with it later. But we've still got plenty of stroke because this is a long cylinder. Probably too much stroke. Like I said, it didn't really need to go as far in as it goes, but it does. So this will make it fold. And these Daniel, buddy of mine, brought from, he's actually a subscriber, brought them from South Carolina when I got the steel for building my carport behind me here. The sun's so bright I can't turn the camera around, but he'd given me them also. And I used a couple of these on our winch box build. But these are 2-inch thick, solid, 4-inch, and 6 inches tall. So, you know, they're no light pieces. So we're going to weld these all in there really good where they're at. And then that's going to give our fold that we need for the rim. And it should work out good. We'll see. And let me see, where else are we? Okay, so we got another piece of I-beam right here. And I'm going to work on building some pieces for it, that pin on my skid steer. And then that piece will get mounted down low. And we should be able to just pick it up, hook the hoses up. All right, so we're doing our mounts a little different on this one than we did on the auger. So I don't have any more big angle like I had. So we're just using some old plate, bored the holes in it. You can see I got spacers there, so it's not going to be too tight on it. And we're going to weld a plate, clean this stuff up, but I'm going to weld a plate in here, and then we'll put our angle, or not angle, put our I-beam up to it. All right, folks, we're not finished. And unfortunately, I just ran out of welding wire and wasn't expecting it, but I buy it in 44-pound rolls, so I don't have to check it that often. And then when I run out, I run out. So nothing more I can do today. And haven't got none of that welded in. Hadn't quite got my mounts finished, been working on it. Do have the holes bored. I'll show you the pins dropping in. So since we welded all that up together, lined it up, these fall right in, and they're going to fall right in. Now we've just got to brace this to that because this weighs 800 pounds. I went ahead and checked it, and we want to make sure that this is enough to hold 800 pounds out there. Now we're going to lighten it up some. We're adding weight here. We'll lighten it up some because we're going to cut the end off on the tongue that we don't need, and we're going to brace it. This is what I was working on right here, was running this brace from here to there, and was going to weld it in. And then I'm going to add one over here, but I've got to stay clear of the movement of the cylinder. So anyway, that's the plan here. I wanted to get away from it a little bit, and I had to get it up to where the pins didn't go into the ground when I pinned it. So this should be fine. It'll sit flat and should work just fine. So anyway, that's where we're at. Probably just going to go ahead and end this one, and then we'll pick back up on the next one. It's going to be a one-part series, but it looks like it's going to be a two-part, and we'll finish it up. We'll clean it up some. We'll get some paint on it. We'll do some testing with it. See if we can crush some rims and crush them the right way to where they crush one time, rim falls out of the tire. That's our goal, and that's what we're going to do. All right, appreciate everybody watching. Till next time, bye.